Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del challenges the status quo, questions everything, and empowers you to return to your core beliefs to make your life better. If you're ready to hear the truth and get your roadmap to the lifestyle you really want, the next hour will change your life. And now, your host, self-made millionaire, national award-winning investor of the year, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Proudly sitting in for Del today, I'm your host, Mike Harrison. Today, friends, I'm very excited to deliver a show that I've wanted to present for quite some time. And the idea for this show actually hit me several months ago. I was in the process. I was driving out to see an apartment community that one of my friends was in the process of purchasing. It was in the process of due diligence, and I was driving out to check out this community. And actually, it was two communities, one across the street from one another, and he was going to essentially utilize a scale to manage both of those properties and to fix those properties up and to bring them up to speed and create functional housing out there. But what I want to impart on you today, that we as real estate investors using our model help many, many people. We help thousands of people each and every day. And I'm going to peel that back with some examples as we go throughout the show. First, let me tell you about my friend. This gentleman owns at least 5 or 6 communities in the DFW area now, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe more than that. And typically his model is what we would call a Class C property. And at first glance, it's the kind of place initially that most of us would probably not want to live. We'd probably steer away from it. But let me tell you what, this gentleman takes these properties and he transforms them into nice, functional, safe places to live. And this gentleman, he's an excellent businessman. He's a teacher. He's a provider. He's a very hard worker, 100% dedicated, the kind of person that gives as much as he gets. And he's a long-term member of Lifestyles Unlimited. I would say the quintessential example of what we teach here at Lifestyles Unlimited. But you know what? This gentleman started about 10 years ago with absolutely zero real estate experience. None whatsoever. But he joined, he listened, he learned, he educated himself, and he implemented the teachings of Lifestyles Unlimited. And today, he's a multi-millionaire, and he takes every opportunity to help others become wealthy in real estate investing. But today's show is not about my friend. It's about how we, as real estate investors, are bettering the lives of others, thousands of others, all across the country, just by following a very specific roadmap to retirement. You see, in our efforts to better ourselves, we're helping to better others. And what we do is we create passive income. And we create passive income because that gives us the ability to eventually retire, okay? If we have enough passive income that exceeds our financial obligations, then we can retire. Or better yet, we can do what we want, when we want, how we want. But how great is it to do that and follow that model and better people's lives in the process? I'm telling you, it is a fantastic feeling. And I'm going to present some examples, so I hope you stick with me for the entire show. Before we get to that, I need to discuss a concept with you out there. And I want to tell you that retirement is not a pile of money. Retirement is not an age. It is a stream of income. It is a stream of passive income that comes in and month out. You see, in the 21st century, in America today, you cannot save your way to retirement, okay? You absolutely cannot do it. Social Security is a failed system. The 401ks and the IRAs for the majority of Americans are a failed system. There are very, very few pensions out there anymore. And the ones that are there, unless you're in a government pension or a city pension, are typical, minuscule at best. They're meant to be supporting your additional retirement process. So, again, for the majority of Americans, the status quo is not working. And what do I mean by the status quo? Here it is. It's the 20th century mentality. Go to school, get good grades so that we can go to a good college, so that then we can get a good job, and then we have the opportunity to feed a 401k for 30 or 40, or now I'm reading a lot and I'm seeing a lot, 50 years, and then after that, sail into retirement happily ever after. But let me tell you, there are several problems with that fantasy, okay? The first problem, the average student debt today is $37,000. Many have much, much more than that. All right, that's number one. Number two, college costs have risen 145% since 1971. Okay, that's astounding. The cost of education in America has never been more expensive. And from 2005 to 2016, student loan payments have risen 60%. So all of these trends are pointing up. They're all continuing to rise. It's not going to get better anytime soon, my friends. And that's on the college side of this conventional path that I'm discussing, okay? So what happens? As a result, you're getting out of college with all this debt at the point that you're really supposed to hammer your 401k, right? What's happening is your participation early into the 401k is watered down, or it's abandoned. You're not able to do it because you're graduating or leaving college with this extreme debt. But if you look at every model on the 401k, the bold format of the 401k, what do they say? The first thing they say right out of the gate, literally every model I'm looking at is talking about age 22 or age 23. They want you to invest $19,000 per year for this long-term 401k model to work properly. And that's not happening due to the college debt on the front end. So let's review what's really in the 401k. The average 401k for a 60-year-old, and I picked 60 because I think that's the age that most of us point to, that they say, yes, I'd like to retire. We know the truth is many people are retiring much older than that, or they're being forced to retire because their bodies just can't work anymore. But the average amount in a 401k for a 60-year-old today is $195,000. $195,000. You're not retiring on that. The median, this is much more telling, okay? The median in the 401k is $62,000. And by median, that means half the people have more than $62,000 and half the people have less. So 50% have less than $62,000 in their 401k. You're not retiring on $62,000, my friends. Not at all. Here's another factor that compounds this conventional wisdom path. Americans are living longer, okay? What's that mean? It means you're going to need more money. It's very basic. Because if not, the only hope, the only wish you have is to die before you run out of money, and that's no plan at all. And here's the fourth item that compounds this conventional wisdom path that everyone's laid out for us that is supposed to work, and I'm telling you, it doesn't work. Healthcare is skyrocketing, okay? It is absolutely skyrocketing. I know there's been a lot of talk and discussion in politics about healthcare. Bottom line, no matter what side you're on, it's going up. It's continuing to go up. $280,000 on average for each retiree. And that's the 280, well, that's 100 more than the average balance of the 401k. And that 280 does not include assisting living if you need that, my friends. So the math for the conventional wisdom status quo plan flat out does not work. I'm here to tell you today there's a better way, and it's through real estate investment. We go about building wealth and retirement in a 100% completely different manner. And then the basis of today's show, and in doing that, we help thousands of people along the way. And it's a beautiful thing. We set up passive streams of income, and it flows, okay? And again, to reinforce the fact, passive income, if you haven't listened to the show for any amount of time, that's what it's all about. That should be the American dream, right? Passive income, because when your passive income meets or exceeds your monthly financial obligations and living expenses, we call that retired. Or better yet, you can do what you want, when you want, how you want, where you want. So I said earlier that as real estate members and investors, we are changing the lives of thousands and thousands of people all across this country on a daily basis. And that's a bold statement. When I come back in the next segments, I'm going to peel that back and I'm going to give you some examples of the people that we help on a daily basis while we're following a path to passive income and retirement. My name is Mike Harrison, and this is the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
You're listening to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will be right back with more life-changing principles in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Now here's some more unconventional wisdom to set you free from the man on a mission to retire America, one person at a time, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. I'm your host, Mike Harrison. Earlier in the show, I had talked about how we as real estate investors in our pursuit for wealth and passive income help thousands of other people along the way. And that idea hit me as I was driving out to go visit a friend's purchase of 2 apartment communities, one across the street from another. And let me tell you about these communities. First of all, I looked it up on a map before I drove out there, and they're in a historic, what I would say historic, kind of a rough part of town. And this is one of those areas that if you're watching the news, you're going to see a story every now and then of some crime or something going down that's not the best thing in the world in this area. And it was known for drugs, high crime, everything that comes with that. But anyway, I'm driving out that morning, and I exit off onto the street where these complexes are, and I'm expecting to see a pretty rough area. But as I exit and I start driving down this road, I'm looking to the right and I'm looking to the left, and it's early in the morning, and people are going about their day. Kids are walking to school. People are walking the dog, and the communities I'm seeing look pretty good. They look sharp. The fences are all fixed. There's no graffiti anywhere. The parking lots are all paved and striped and everything's painted. The signage looks great. There's modern signage on these apartment communities, and these are historic, what would be pretty rough back in the day, but they've all been transformed. And I'm going down this road and I'm looking, that place looks pretty nice and that place looks pretty nice, and I'm seeing a few people out riding the bikes and everything, and landscaping's looking sharp. And then I drive by a couple of more complexes, and they're kind of exactly what I expected to see, right? And then I see a couple more that are fixed up and rehabbed. And eventually I get to my friend's place. And that's when the idea for this show hit us on how we help people along the way. Because let me tell you what, his place was what I was expecting to see. It was rough. There was potholes. The gate was broken. There was people arguing in the parking lot when I pulled in and parked around back. The slats in the fence had been kicked out. There was graffiti, broken glass. The office looked run down. Some of the windows had boards over it, and it was a typical rough apartment complex. But I knew that my friend was going to take this place, and he was going to rehab it, and he was going to fix everything, and he was going to put in all new appliances, and he was going to fix the roof, and he was going to put new paint and new exteriors on these properties. And the group of people that he's going to affect are going to be the residents, right? He's going to get rid of the bad element, and he's going to invite the good element to stay. And he's going to then fill these new apartments with better people. And he's going to create a nice, safe, functional place to live. And let me tell you what, when it happens, I've seen people come out and thank the new owners, literally, and say things like, hey, we've lived here 10, 15 years, and it was such an unsafe place, and we were always scared, and my car was always getting broken into, but now it's a nice, clean, safe place to live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so the first group of people that we, as real estate investors, help along the way are our residents. We help them. We make great places to live. Yes, we're pursuing passive income. We are building wealth for ourselves, but at the same time, we are helping others by providing a nice, clean, safe place to live, okay? Let me tell you what we do, it's not easy, but we have a path. We have a map that we follow because we're educated. What we do is not a get-rich-quick scheme at all in any way, shape, or form. What we do takes education. It takes drive. It takes determination. It takes an investment. And it takes the Constitution to stay on this map that Lifestyles Unlimited has provided for us, this map that Dale Walmsley created 29 years ago. And yes, this map has been time-tested for almost 30 years by over 35,000 people all across the country. My friends, this is happening everywhere, not just in Texas. This is happening in markets, Detroit, Atlanta, Arizona, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Ohio, Michigan, California. Yes, we're investing in California. Okay, and there's a bunch of places that I'm missing. But let me tell you what, the math has to work, and it has to work to provide passive streams of income, and it has to work because we actually go in and we fix everything in these communities. Everything. I'm talking new appliances, flooring. We make these nice places to live. And if you've got a comment about today's show, give me a call. The number's 877-711-5211, 877-711-5211, or email me at askmike@luinc.com. askmike@luinc.com. I will respond to you personally. So I know my friend's going to take these two apartment complexes or apartment communities, and he's going to fix everything. He's going to ask the bad characters to leave. He's going to bring in good people. He's going to keep the good people that are there. And in 3 to 5 years, he's going to raise the value of this apartment community by millions of dollars, okay? All the while providing passive income during this process for him and his investors. Why? Because he's educated, he's done it several times, and he's following the Lifestyles Unlimited map. And let me give you an example. If you take an apartment community, okay, and you fix everything and you make it a nice place to live, and you raise the rents, you're able to raise the rents, let's say, by just 10%, okay? That's going from $700 a month to only $770 a month, or that's $800 to $880, right? 10%, do the math. By raising the rents only 10%, and you're not doing this in month one. This takes a process. This might take 18 months, might take 2 years, maybe a little less, maybe a little longer. But as soon as you raise the rents just 10%, you will achieve a 100% return on your investment. You heard me, 100%. And let me tell you how this works, okay? 10% increase to NOI raises the value of the apartment community by 25%. So let's take a $1 million apartment community. 25% down, purchases it, that's $250,000, right? Raise the rents 10%, the community is then worth $1.25 million. You do a refinance, you pull out $250,000, that just happens to be the same amount you put down. That is a 100% return on your investment, my friends. There's actually 28 different ways to increase the value of an apartment community. Just increasing the rent is one way, increasing the occupancy is another way. There's 26 other ways that we can teach you here at Lifestyles Unlimited. And you don't have to be a buyer of the apartment community. We have lead investors that do that. You can invest in an apartment community for as little as $25,000. All right? 25 grand. What would you rather have? 25 grand in a deal that's going to return 100% in 2-3 years plus passive income? Or would you rather have 25 grand in a 401k that eventually you're going to have to pay taxes on? The market can go down, the bottom could fall out, and you're not in control of your money. So we have members that do this all over the country. We have members that actually live outside of the United States and still invest here with us. We've got members in all 50 states. Check us out, lifestylesunlimited.com. Download our free starter kit. Download our podcast. When we come back, I'm going to tell you how I practically doubled my money on a single family home, earned 30% return, and helped a lot of people out. My name is Mike Harrison. This is the Dale Walmsley Radio Show.
Dale will be right back with more life-changing principles in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Now here's some more unconventional wisdom to set you free from the man on a mission to retire America, one person at a time, Dale Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Dale Walmsley Radio Show. I'm your host, Mike Harrison. Today we've been discussing how, as real estate investors and as members of Lifestyles Unlimited, we go about a path to create passive streams of income and to eventually retire. But in doing so, we're helping thousands and thousands of people all across this country each and every day. And the first example I gave was the residents of our communities in our single-family homes. And now I want to tell you about some other people that we help along the way. And in doing so, I want to discuss a home that I purchased. And this was actually the first home I ever purchased within Lifestyles Unlimited, using the Lifestyles Unlimited model. And I purchased this home in 2013 in Arlington, Texas. And this was 1972 construction. And it was our typical model, right? It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. That's what we look for. Just kind of a bread and butter, everyday, good home. And actually, this was from a lead of one of the Lifestyles Unlimited realtors that was sent to me. And let me tell you what, I drove out to this house to go look at it. And when I pulled up in the driveway, I thought to myself, Harrison, oh my gosh, there is no way I am buying this house. Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? Again, keep in mind, this was the first one I did within the Lifestyles Unlimited model, okay? But anyway, I went and I looked at it, and let me tell you what, everything was broken in this house. The air conditioner was gone. The previous person just basically took it with them, I guess for scrap metal or what have you. The hot water heater was gone. Windows were kicked out. There was roof issues. No one had touched the landscape in what looked like for a millennium. I mean, things were just growing everywhere. The backyard had one of those above-ground swimming pools, and it was as green as the day is long. I mean, it was nasty. And I'm walking around this, and I called my guy at Lifestyles, and I said, "You're out of your mind. I'm not buying this house." And he just kind of frankly said over the phone, "Harrison, if you don't buy this house, I've got 10 other people that will purchase this house." And that was the push that I really needed. But anyway, I purchased this home for $82,500. Okay, now this was 2013, and this was a destroyed home. Okay, the rehab on this home was $35,000, and again, this home needed everything: AC, appliances, windows. We had to remove the pool in the back. It needed plumbing work, needed electrical work. Let me tell you, it needed some walls because whoever lived there had taken one of the rooms and turned it into a pool table room, I guess. They'd painted the walls all black, and they'd blocked in the windows with some boards. And I guess they're serving drinks into the pool table room, and they had to get from the living room into this room. And it was, keep in mind, 70s construction. You would have had a normal person would walk down the hall and then around the corner and then into the bedroom. Well, not for these guys. They just cut a hole in the wall. I'm telling you, truthfully, cut a hole in the wall. So if you're handing over, I don't know, a pitcher of beer or something like that, man, you can just go through the wall and hand it over. They did the same thing on the other side of the house because they wanted access to the master bathroom, and instead of having to walk through the master bedroom and all the way around to the restroom, well, heck, man, let's just cut a hole in the wall and we'll walk straight into the restroom. So that's the kind of house I purchased. But let me tell you how great a deal this turned out to be. $35,000 in rehab, $82,000 on the purchase price. I used hard money lending, and I was all in at $117,500 plus closing cost. $117,500 plus closing cost. Again, I got a hard money loan, and if you don't understand what that is, please email me, askmike@luinc.com. askmike@luinc.com. Hard money loan was based on what we call ARV, after repaired value, at $150,000. So my hard money loan was $105,000, right, which is about 70% of ARV. So I was only out of pocket $12,500 plus closing costs. Let's call it $18,000. And as soon as I purchased the home, as soon as I signed the paperwork, I made $32,000. Okay, that $32,000 was in the form of brick and mortar. It was in the form of the house, right? But it was still there. It was equity capture, okay? That's what we call equity capture. Because follow me here, I bought a house for $82,500. I put $35,000 in rehab, and this home is worth $150,000. That's a $32,000 equity capture, but it gets better. Once I fixed this home up and fixed everything and made it a great place to live and put granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and new carpet and tile and everything, I went to a conventional lender and I refinanced this property, okay? And I refinanced this property for 75% of the value of the home, which was $112,500. And if you'll remember, my original hard money loan was for $105,000, okay? After a closing cost, I walked away with about $1,600 in my pocket. But it gets better. I rented this home for $1,295. And my note with PITI, right? Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, I was all in at $855, giving me a net cash flow of $440 per month. My friends, how great is that? That's $440 on an investment that essentially turned out to be about $16,500 out of pocket. It was the $18,000 essentially with the closing costs less the $1,600, so I was at about $16,400, and I'm making $5,280 per year. That's a 32% cash-on-cash return. Also includes my $32,000 equity capture. My friends, do you see how we are able to retire ourselves using these methods? Do you see that? But back to our discussion, I want to tell you, as I was rehabbing this home, and this was my first one in Lifestyles Unlimited, I was driving out there all the time, 3 or 4 times a week, just to see what's going on, to see how my GCs were getting everything done. And I was really going overboard. But as I was going out there, one of the times I was visiting, I noticed this young guy next door, and he stepped out and came over and introduced himself, and he said hello, and he said, "Hey, are you the owner?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm the owner. I'm purchasing this property, and I'm turning it around." And he asked me a lot of questions like, who do you plan on moving in the home, etc.? What are you doing with the home? And I explained to him that, look, we screen our tenants. We pick the very, very best people. We want the best residents in this home, and I'm fixing everything, and you're welcome to come in and check it out. He was amazed, but you know what? He thanked me about 5 times, and he said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, been married about 4 years. I've got 2 very young girls at home. One was a newborn and one was 3 years old. And this was the party house." And he said this house had people coming 24 hours a day in and out of this house. There was always party music. There was cars parked all over the street, loud noise. There was trash every year, everywhere, beer bottles, beer cans, just stuff being neglected. The yard was never being mowed. And this guy said, I was so afraid, number one, that something was going to happen to my wife or my daughters or something along those lines, because this guy worked long hours. I was always upset because of the trash, and this home was an eyesore, that it was destroying the value of my home. And this gentleman said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you" to me. And I never thought about that. And guess what? I never forgot that either. So do you think I changed his life even in the slightest way? You bet I did. Do you think I changed my life in the slightest way? You bet I did. Is the neighborhood better as a result? You bet it is. And over the next 3 years, I went on to buy 10 more single-family homes, all of them cash flowing at $400 per month. All of them were eyesores, some more than this house. All of them needed specific rehab. All of them needed to be fixed. And guess what? Every one of them, I fixed everything. I put in new appliances. I put in new countertops. And I did this over a span of about 3 years. I purchased 11 houses. And my friends, that is not a fast, quick purchase or a fast way to do it by any means. I actually did it much slower than most people do it. But you can do it too. You can do it. Don't take your time like I did. I want you to take action today. Visit us at Lifestyles Unlimited and see exactly how I got started in real estate investment, because there you can click on our free workshop button and you can see where the workshops are in your area. Or you can go to retirein5yearsorless.com, retirein5yearsorless.com. Click on the free workshop button. We'll be in Chicago, July 27th, Kansas City, August 3rd, Atlanta, August 10th, and we'll be in both Detroit and Seattle, August 17th. Click on the free workshop, retirein5yearsorless.com. My name is Mike Harrison, and this is the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
You're listening to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will be right back with more life-changing principles in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Now here's some more unconventional wisdom to set you free from the man on a mission to retire America, one person at a time, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. I'm your host, Mike Harrison. Today I've wanted to share with you how we as real estate investors, how we go about creating passive streams of income and building wealth. But in doing so, we help several, if not thousands of people all across the country along the way. I mentioned how we help the residents of our communities and the residents of our single-family properties. I mentioned how we help the neighbors of those properties because we're taking these properties that are typical, not the best places, right? And we're making them the best places to live. You see, the reason it works for us and that we are able to help so many people is we have a philosophy, and our philosophy is best product, best price. And what exactly does that mean and why do we do it? I'll tell you, number one, the reason we do it is it's marketing, right? If people are in the market for a place to live and they're looking at 3 different places and one of them is the best product for the best price, I think that one's going to get leased first, right? I can tell you it is going to get leased first. We don't make money when our units are empty. All right, that's so basic, but it's true. We don't make money when our units are empty. And how do we avoid that? Best product, best price. And best means more than just functional and everything fixed. Best also means best management. We know what we're doing. We have the very best education possible as far as management because we're sharing best practices. We're sharing with others on what works. We're up to date everywhere, and we have excellent education as far as that goes. And so we have best product also means best management. And I want to talk about 2 other groups of people that we help along the way in creating passive income and building wealth. And this group of people is very, very important. And you've heard us say it here, real estate investing is a team sport. Anytime I hear someone, when they say, hey, Harrison, so you're in real estate investment, I say, yeah, I sure am. And typically, when someone says that to me, they want to share a bad experience or a danger or give me their 2 cents on why it's failed or why it doesn't work. And typically, that individual that had a bad experience with real estate is because they tried to do it by themselves, okay? And you cannot do this by yourself. So the group of people I want to talk about that we help along the way, but quite frankly, they help us quite a bit along the way as well, right? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's our vendors, okay? These people help us in every way, shape and form as we transform and rehab these properties and provide functional, clean, safe housing. And these are real estate agents. These are title people. These are tax people, right? One of the most important members of my team that I deal with is definitely my tax guy. Thank you. If you're out there listening, you know who you are, Nate. Anyway, our tax people, we have lenders, hard money, and conventional lenders. We also have legal services, but we also have general contractors, right? We've got GCs that can handle an entire project, and if you don't want to use the GC, we've got the individuals. We've got roofers, plumbers, electricians, landscape people, anything and everything involved with sourcing, buying, and fixing broken real estate we have on our vendor list, okay? And at Lifestyles Unlimited, our vendors are vetted, they're trustworthy, and they cater to the real estate investor, okay? They're tailored to work with us. They understand what we're doing. They understand what we're about. And for the most part, our vendors, I'm not saying they work only with real estate investors. A lot of them do. But our vendors that do work with us understand our model and they understand our program. So again, real estate investment is an absolute team sport. They help us, we help them. And let me tell you, true example, there is a home inspection company here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And I remember years ago, this company became a vendor at Lifestyles Unlimited. And I want to say there's about 3 or 4 individuals with this company. And now I see, here we are 8-10 years later, I see their trucks all over Dallas-Fort Worth. And I know that they're working very hard and they've been able to grow their business. And I'm not saying it's only because of the members at Lifestyles Unlimited, but I am telling you, I believe we were a big part of what they do. And they're an excellent company, okay? I'm going to tell you another way that our vendors help us, and hard money lenders, for example. We'll find a property that we want to invest in, and we'll look at it, and we'll do the math ourselves, and then we'll send it over to our hard money lender. And they're going to do their own review. They're not going to use our numbers. They're going to use their numbers. And if the deal doesn't work, they're going to tell us, because it's counterintuitive, but as a lender, you would think they just want to give us the biggest loan possible with the biggest rate possible for the longest term possible. And that is absolutely 100% not true. They want us to get in and out of this loan. So if the math does not work, they're going to tell us. They're not going to let us, or they're going to advise us against the deal. So our vendors are helping us. And there's a last group of people I want to talk about. And that's the community city members, the city employees, the first responders. I can't tell you how often I've seen these folks thank us for taking a dilapidated community, a dangerous community, and fixing it and transforming it into a nice, functional, safe, clean place to live. And so our first responders, our city members, our city employees are very, very thankful for what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we go about helping others. Okay, so we've got residents that we help. We've got the neighbors of the properties that we help. We've got our vendors that we help that also help us, but we also have our community and our city members as we go about creating passive streams of income and building wealth. Well, we're about out of time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have, and I want each of you to remember Lifestyles Unlimited is so much more than an educational and mentoring group. We teach a path to retirement in a manner that helps countless others along the way, because if you help enough people get everything they want in life, then you too can have everything you want in life. Until next time, this is Mike Harrison with the Del Walmsley Radio Show, reminding you it's not about the money, it's all about the lifestyle.
The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.